just continuing off of the last video, finally got to a place where I'm happy with the movement, sort of pathfinding detection and deciding how far someone can move and actually reacting to the bumps in the map. I'm likely to find something that's wrong with it, but at the moment it looks good. So yeah, the next part would probably be, let's actually do the movement properly. So select move position. At the moment I'm just dropping some balls. I'm dropping these beautiful balls onto the map. Um, so instead, I guess let's just make a little prefab. Get an object on the go. Movement marker. Let's go something like that. I'll set it on 100 so that we can see it just here. I will create a quad. It's called visual. Flip it on the X 90 degrees and then raise it on the Y just ever so slightly. Maybe that's enough. Small enough, big enough, whatever. It's not going to cast shadows. We don't want any of that. We don't want it to react to anything. It doesn't have a collider, as it's simply a position marker. Maybe it's not so big though. Maybe 0.9, maybe 0.8, something like okay, 0.8. And I'll need to give it some kind of material. Movement marker. So the purpose of this is to make it some kind of color that isn't going to blend in with the background in some way. So blues might be good, as long as it doesn't clash with the water. Greens I would probably try and avoid. Be like a goldy orangey color might be okay. And just drop that on the visual. Maybe even add a little bit of transparency to it. Don't receive shadows, we don't want any of that. Okay, let's make a prefab of this. So at the moment, there's a reference to this sphere prefab, so I need to get rid of that. And this would be a good time to use the config that we set up. So we'll keep layer mask together and we'll keep game objects together for prefabs. Movement marker prefab. Now let's go to the movement. So we grab all the reachable positions and we would like to actually store this somewhere. So instead of sphere list here, we'll keep that, but we'll make private list of vector3 int um, yeah, reachable positions is fine. Reachable positions, and we'll just use it here. So we're storing the positions that we think are okay. And then for each of these positions, instead of creating a sphere, we'll just create movement markers. And this is going to be config instance movement marker prefab. We do the same thing, get the position, movement marker, and instead of sphere list, we're just going to call it movement marker list, and we add the movement marker. So instead of those balls, it's going to be these that appear on the screen. So I'll just test that just to make sure before I move on to the next part. I didn't add it here, of course. It can be deleted from the hierarchy, but then movement marker can be put in there. And I will delete the sphere. No, you know what? I'll keep it in case I want it for something later. Who knows? The sphere yet lives. Okay, let's test. So if I click, that looks much better. And if I cancel, they'll go away. Okay. So we're almost there. Now I want to only allow a movement if the position that they click at is inside here. So that's our way of validating if they can move. If the move position is null, or so if the move position is null, maybe this isn't right, I'll take this out. If the move position is null, then we say you clicked outside the battle map. And I guess we just return. Maybe we don't need to, it's fine. Yeah, okay, return. Because this is within the click. So when we click, grab a position. If the position is null, return. Else if the value that we have gotten is not one of the reachable positions, then we'll debug.log you can't move to that position. Return. Otherwise, we will immediately warp there. And again, this will change. And we don't need the balls. We don't need the balls. Let's see. So if I click and I want to click here, I can't move here. If I click here, boom. And then obviously this keeps doing stuff that, yeah, let's get rid of that as well. So if you have clicked and it is a valid move position and you have moved, then we don't want to be in here anymore. We've done everything we should be doing here. Let's go back to select action. Yeah, what was I doing? What was I doing? So when you click and then you click again, it moves and then takes you out of this state back to the state where nothing is anything. So if I click again, it shows me where I can move, and then if I click again, I can move. You can see how we're almost there now, right? Let's keep going. Some people can't make it to the high points. That's good. So, um, so how do we actually move then? We're teleporting, but that's not really what anyone's gonna want. You're gonna want a path. So we've got a point, move position. Let's add this to the turn controller. I think I'll also just create a little utility folder just for the random stuff. Camera rig, config, raycaster. Yeah, just get all this out of here. So in turn controller, we have the acting battle unit, and we should also have some idea of what they've done and what they want to do. So maybe, so the movement, how do I want the movement to work? Some games, like D&D, you can move, then do an action, then use the rest of your movement. Some games force you to move and then act, or just don't move, then act, then you don't get to move. Some games, like Final Fantasy Tactics, let you do a movement or an attack in sort of any order, but once both are done, that's the end of your turn. Um, uh, should I let them move all of their movement or just one? Alright, the way I'll do it is have they moved yet? This is more like Final Fantasy Tactics, but I think I'll allow the player to cancel their movement if they haven't already acted. So that's why the movement lock is in place. I was thinking of doing the Baldur's Gate style D&D. I've done that in the past where they have a number that they're allowed to move. So say 4 spaces, and then you can move 2 spaces, attack something, then move 2 spaces. Um, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so there'll be some kind of movement left. And at the start of someone's turn, we will make movement left equal to their total movement. And then as they move, we will decrease movement left. So that means in this movement phase, we won't simply be grabbing whatever the character's movement is, we'll be grabbing the movement they have left. So I need to remember to actually change this. So I might try and do that now so I remember. So we have movement left. There'll be a property just so that things can get it if they need it. So here, and this is wrong anyway. What will happen is when they take an action, that action will have a turn counter cost. If I think the cost will be up to 100, and then there may be a wait time as well added to that. Or maybe the turn cost can be more than 100 because that means the next person's turn will be even longer waiting. So it could have a bit of a recharge on it. But anyway. So when this new turn happens, movement left will equal, again, let's just hard code it with 4 right now. So in this state here, we will just grab movement left as battle dot turn dot movement left, and then we pop it in there. You can just type this straight into here, but sometimes it's nice to just have a clear list of all the things you're using and then use them. Sometimes you will just jam it in there and it's completely fine. Okay, so we're now grabbing the movement from that. There should be some way of getting the G value from the end node and passing that back as well. So maybe this should be an object that gets passed back that holds the path and also holds things like the final node, some extra data that might be needed, or even just the total length of the path rather than the last node. Okay, I guess we're not done with the path finding entirely, but this is important for the movement, so mm, the actually the we don't want the movement to tick down until the person is moving, because then if there's something that interrupts a turn, like a trap, we want it to stop moving, and then I guess they still have their movement left depending on what happens. So yeah, let's just hold off. In the turn controller, we have the movement they have left, but we also need private vector3 int target move position and I may just add that to the end so that it can be null. And say target move position equals null. And then we'll have to create another state. And this will be called maybe something like perform movement. So when we enter the state, let's do this sort of thing again. We will get the position that we want to move to, vector3 int target move position equals battle.turn dot target move position. Okay, let's do a check. So if there's no target move position, we just want to change the state back to select action because we don't know why we got here. Managed to reach perform movement battle state without a target move position. Yield break out of this. Otherwise, we're going to just grab the value because we know it has something in it. And then we just move to the position. With some kind of move speed. Let's make that in the config as well. Nice. Okay. Where did config go? Maybe it's not, that's not really utility, I guess. That's the script. And camera rig's not really a utility either. And that's not a utility, but I don't know where else to put it right now. Maybe just game scripts. Nah, screw it, we don't need it. In config, we'll also have an area for just config variables for movement speeds and things. battle unit move speed, and I'll set a value in the inspector. Just do 0.5 movement marker prefix. So that should be the movement speed. Now we're going to do yield return. We're going to have to grab the active unit as well. Battle unit, acting battle unit equals battle dot turn acting battle unit. Transform dot do. Can I just? Oh, I don't have do tween ready to go. Where's the package manager? I'm sure this is free. Really handy tool. You can use it to move objects. You can use it to move between values, floats and things. It's got some built-in easing equations. Yeah, it's just a really handy tool. Okay, so what is going on? Okay, uncomment this. Okay, do move. So the end value, we will need to grab a list of vector3 ints, and this is the path. We're going to use path finding, which is battle.pathfinding. Find path, and I haven't tested the find path yet, only the get reachable. So I'm hoping this is also working. Movement left equals battle.turn.movement left. I don't think movement left should be involved in finding a path, because we're just looking for a path. And we'll need to change a lot of this code. The G cost being +1, that's assuming that the ground is fine. What if there's something like the terrain shit in D&D, where the ground is difficult terrain? So this might be +2 if you're walking in roots and vines and things, but if it's just plains or cement or ground, that would be +1. So yeah, a lot of things to change and improve on. Jump height equals battle dot turn acting battle unit dot stats dot get. jump. So when we're finding the path, we have a start position, which is the acting battle unit position, V3I. The end position is the target move position, movement left, and jump height. Easy as that. But this is trying to pass back. Oh, it's the wrong kind of list, isn't it? Yep, as always nowadays. So for each waypoint in the path, we want to wait until we move to path.i. The duration will be config move speed. And then once that's all done, we will change the state back to select action battle state. So back in the select move position, when we click on a position, we don't want to just move there anymore, but we may need this code. We'll change state to the perform movement battle state, but before that we will set the turn set target set movement target. Yep. Public void set target move position. So you have to purposely be setting the move position in order to change it. That'll be move position dot value, and then we're going to rip this out. I think we're going to use this. Get rid of this shit. And in here, I guess it goes inside the path. Target move position. We already have the acting battle unit. Oh. The current, the current position will keep changing. So the current position, I don't think I was actually changing the battle unit's position when doing this. So this is a new position we want to go to. I don't really need new position anymore. No, I do, because it is path I. That's the new position. The current position is where they're standing right now. Create a new grid object. And we get the grid object, we remove it because we don't want it anymore, and then we create a new one. This might be made a little better by getting the grid object, then updating the position. But for now, this is fine. New grid object at the new position. Add the content battle unit. And then once we move, actually no, we don't need to update this anymore because I changed that to just be the transform position with a little bit of rounding, etc. Alright, so once we have moved there, I'm just going to snap the position to the new position just to make sure there's no wonkiness. So they're just going to move from one point to the next, to the next, to the next, until there's no more points in the path. I may need to start this at 1 because the path might include where you begin. I think it does. So what does that leave us with? There can be some way of you know what, this is going to be extracted out to an action for sure. This will most likely create an action where the acting unit is added to it and we pass the position into it. So that would be one way of removing these all these values that seem to clutter up objects like this. And then when performing the action, there can be some way of breaking out of the action and saying maybe add something into the queue, and then in my head I see it being, say you want to move 4 steps forward, you move 2 steps, but then there's some kind of effect that says this character gets to slap you. So then you would take how many moves you've already made, you would create an action after this move action that says this character slaps your character, and then you would add another action after that to finish the movement. So you'll take whatever of the path that hasn't been walked yet and make that into another action. So this way we don't need lots of loops and lots of code folding in on itself. The action just plays and then we'll move on. That seems like a pretty neat way of doing it. So I don't know if this is going to work immediately. I'm just going to run the code, see what happens, see what it breaks. Oh, after you move, you want to set the movement left. What? Just movement left. Just put in an amount. So movement left minus equals amount. So battle.turn, reduce movement left, and we'll just slap 1 in there for now. But as we know, you shouldn't really be putting magic numbers in. So just for the sake of it, movement lost per square. Movement lost per square. So maybe later I can check some way of checking if there's a point on the map with this position that says this is difficult terrain, it should cost more. Then I can add that in fairly easy. Alright, let's just give it a go then. So we want to move 2. Managed to reach that without target move position. Val turn, target move position. So if the move position is null, don't do anything. If it's not in the reachable positions, don't do anything. Otherwise, I don't think this is the problem, but I'm going to put that there just to be sure. So it clearly said move 2. Set target move position. If the target move position is null, or if it has a value, oh my god. Or if it doesn't have a value. Let's try move 2. Aha. Where was it trying to go? Let's see. When we're stepping through debug log, stepping to, and then just put that in here. New position. Hold on. I'm being silly again. I'm passing that through as a... And this is this is a good example of, I'm pretty sure earlier in the video, I said, I don't really need to be checking if this value exists because of course it exists. The object is standing there. So in this code, I'm passing in position just as it is. I'm not getting the real world position. New position, real world new position equals utility dot translate vector3n new position, and then when I move somewhere it should be to the real world position, and then snap it to the real world position. And this is probably right now. The reason it was moving above this tile is because it was moving to 1, which is this height, rather than the step height, 0.25. So let's see, move 2, and now we only have 1 move, which is weird. 1, 2, 1, 1. So it's costing double the movement to move, and it's also freaking out while it's doing it. Can I wait till it's complete or something? Just to be sure, just to make sure this works the way I think it does. I've got my good old buddy, the DoTween package for Unity. Complete. Okay, so I'm glad to see I was using it wrong, because if I wasn't using it wrong, that means the problem was somewhere else. Whereas this just means it's fine. If I actually yield return for the tween, it shouldn't try and move to every position all at once at the same time and freak out on the screen. It should actually wait for each step of the movement. So let's see what happens and hope for the best. So move 1, move 1. Okay. Let's move 1, 2, 3. The movement isn't the best right now. It's maybe passable. 1, 2. Okay, that was 2. Yeah. For some reason, it's using a lot extra movement. Oh yeah, it pauses because this issue, I believe, if I start at 1, we don't need it to pause at the start because it's trying to move to the space it currently is on. So let's see. All right, let's go. 1, 1, 1, 1. Let's go here. It moves around. Lovely. And yep, nice. If you click, it sort of goes behind people. So if I click here, it'll go behind. Lovely. So it seems like it's working. Like I say, oh, turning, and also jumping will be the next thing. He just slides his ass up there. We don't want it to slide. We want it to hop. Also to turn. So I'm not going to do any fancy turning animation. I want it to just immediately turn in the direction that we're facing. So this would probably be a bit of maths. Let's try and figure out what it is we want it to do. So if he's facing this way, and I click here, I want to get the direction from where he's standing to where I clicked, which will be the origin point minus the 2 position. I'll add that to the utility because that seems like something that would be useful to know, direction. I think vector 3, maybe vector 3 int, direction from point A to B. This will be A, and then vector 3 int of B. So I think it's just that. I think it is as easy as just that. Or, no, A minus B. And let's run the numbers. So if I'm standing at 0, 0, 1 here, and then I remove 0, 0, 0, that leaves me with 0, 0, 1. So that wouldn't be right. So other way around, if I was here at 0, 0, 1, and I do 0, 0, 0 minus 0, 0, 1, that gives me minus 1, which is what we're looking for. So that's A, that's B. From, and that's 2. So it's going to be 2 minus from. And then I think we, is it normalize? So this would be if I was here and if I were to move here, it would return 0, 0 minus 1 to tell me this is the direction we're moving. And I just need to rotate this object, this character, to face the direction we're moving. And that's probably to do with radians and shit. Yeah, so I don't know how to do what I want, but I know what I want. So let's ask. My battle units can face the 4 cardinal directions. Actually, can't I just do look towards and then remove the X and Z, maybe? No, remove the Y. Yeah, let's try that before I ask for help. Um, Acting battle unit dot look at the new position. Now I'm aware this is going to be funky, but I want to see what exactly it does before I try and change it. So let's move here. Okay, it's not funky at all, it just fucking works. Ah, that's it. So it screws up because it's moving up and down the Y. Um, so let's just make vector 3 a look at position. Um, new position X, new position Y, new position Z, but I've got a feeling this should just be whatever I'm currently at. Again, I'll just trial and error this. If it doesn't work, I'll put a bit more thought into it. Okay, well, seems like it might be fine. He just stays looking at the right direction. So now I need to do some kind of little bump hop um, if the height is different. So this is all fine. Let's get height difference equals acting battle unit transform. Maybe don't need that. Maybe just position dot y. Um, so let's just take away the y position from the new position dot y to give the height difference. If the height difference equals 0, we're just going to step there. We may as well just reuse this. Else the tween will be something else, and we'll just wait for the same thing. We'll just wait for it to complete. All right. Um, do move. We're gonna move, I guess, half of the distance. Let's you know what, let's ask Grok because I'm just not sure. I was thinking maybe you would jump half of the distance up in the air and then move the other half of the distance back down again. But oh, they have do jump. Didn't even think about something like that. Okay, okay, let's just try it. Get out of here. Do jump. Wow. Okay. End value is going to be real world new position. Jump power. We're going to have to slap that in the config too. Battle unit jump power. And we'll just use that. Number of jumps is going to be just one. We just want one single jump. And then battle unit move speed. Make sure to update the config variable and then just give it a try. See whatever happens. Too much, too much. This is maybe close. What about 25? It's kind of just floating through it again. Hmm. The downward one. Maybe if I add more jump power. Say like, try 2. Okay. So we need jump power on the way down, but not on the way up. Which means we don't want this. Else if height difference is greater than 0, jumping up, I think. Simple case of if I've screwed this up and put them around the wrong way, I'll just flip them around. Upward jump power, downward jump power. Upward, downward. Okay, let's just try this out. Upward is 0.5, and then downward is going to be 2. Okay, all the way around. Nice soft jumps, nice soft jump, soft jump, and then big jump, big jump. You know what? The jump power is maybe just whatever the value. Maybe they needs. Ah, the jump power needs to change based on this. Ah. So let's take this out here because I don't think that's gonna be what I'm looking for. Um, maybe math@absolute of height difference, but then on the way up it can maybe be divided by 2 or multiplied by half. Let's just see. This could be garbage. Okay, I've got it around the wrong way again. Yeah, that's looking much better for the small jumps though. So down is fine. Did anything even change there? It'll just... Okay, so this is jumping down. And you know what, just to make absolutely certain, I'll multiply this by 100. Yep. Okay, so definitely this is jumping up. We don't want to go too high. So it's going to give half the power. Nice little hop. Nice little hop. 2 hops this time. Looking good. Looking good. I don't like the fucking the slow pause in between. Come on. Um, okay, it's a sequence again. But what if I want to break that sequence? Is there a way, a tween sequence, if my game has a reason for it? A battle unit will move bases forward, but after moving 2 spaces, I want they land in a trap and have to stop. Can I break the tween sequence? On step complete. Oh, beautiful. This is what we need. Okay, so I'll keep this, but just as a reference, and then for each waypoint in the path, we will create a sequence outside do tween dot sequence. So sequence dot append. So that would be this part. New position is something we will need. Real world new position also need. Okay, tween. No, it's sequence. So sequence dot append this whole thing. Yield return sequence dot wait for completion. That's probably it. Is that it? Where is this sequence nonsense? Just wait for the sequence. You don't need to do play or anything, you just wait for it. Okay, so we've created the sequence, but all this wacky shit that's going to be updating things, we do sequence dot on step complete, and then we add it in here. Beautiful. Maybe this is beautiful. I've just realized maybe not. Fuck. Because I don't know the next position. Hmm. Um. Okay, this can be ripped. We don't need to do it every step. We can just do it at the end. Right. Although, if it's in here, it's not a big deal. Nah, it's not quite there. On step complete, this is battle dot turn dot reduce movement left. Let's just see. We'll see what it looks like. I think it's doing 0.1 again. Yep. Come on now. Wow, it's getting late already. So if I move straight, it still does the little jolty nonsense. That's probably to do with the tween then, which means this is not the problem. Get rid of that. Glad I kept the rest. Maybe... let's see. How do I add an easing equation to do tween? Hoping this will make it just happen with none of its shite. Just work. Come on. Be the answer. Okay. Yeah. Why is it kind of like Parkinson's or something? What's going on here? It's looking about a billion times better. Tween is moving an object. It looks like the object is shaking. Why? It says interpolation. We don't use rigid bodies or anything. So it says use rigid body. If your frame rate is unstable, due to Unity's update cycle by default. Am I trying to do this in no, I'm not doing anything with fixed delta time. It's also it's kind of slow. So let's see. Oh, wrong way. Why? Yeah, I like it snappy. I like it quick. I don't like it jittering around. Nothing annoys me more nowadays than a really slow game. I think that's great. If it's moving quicker, you're not wasting the player's time. But I do want to get to the bottom of this jittery shit. Hmm. Should we try rigid body just to see? Let's give it a rigid, an extremely rigid body. Freeze rotation, we don't really care. We'll leave interpolation off to begin with just to see if we need it. Gravity, no. Oh yeah, bugger. Let's add it to the prefab so it applies to all of them. We'll get rid of that. We'll tick that and that again. And then first of all, see what happens, and then go back and update to use the rigid body. Okay. Not ideal. What's the... is kinematic? No, this isn't what we want. Come on now. No, definitely not. Get out of here. Just need to come up with why this is happening. Between move local. Uh, no. Let's look again. Let's just have a look. What's happening? Yes, definitely jittering. Is it the camera that's not doing? Maybe it's the fucking camera. Let's let's not follow and see if it looks like the character is jittering when moving, or if it's the camera. Oh my god, it's the camera. That looks fine. Yep, okay. Camera rig. Let's see. Fixed update. Boom. So, Dewtween is moving according to the update, and the camera was trying to move according to fixed update, which made it look jittery and slow. Ah! Let's see if it works now. Ooh. Ooh, smooth. Mm, crisp. Wah, wah. A little bit quick. A little bit quick. Let's have a jump speed. Ah, the camera. So the move speed, let's have 0.5 for the jump speed, just to make it look a bit less gammy. Hold on. Hold on. kind of looked fine there when it was moving. What? Even though I didn't change anything. Speedy. Speedy. Jumping. Yeah, it's that. It's the big one. So we want this jumping to be battle unit jump speed and battle unit jump speed. Just to see, maybe this is fine tweaking at a time when I shouldn't be fine tweaking, but I sometimes can't help myself. Yep, that is much better. Much better. Mm, it's not right. When they're going down, maybe we'll keep the same speed. Move speed. It might be to do with the distance as well. Maybe this should be a value that's multiplied by the distance dropped or jumped. Whoa. Uh, jump speed multiplied by the height. So this is a great example of when it would be a good idea to take these values out and actually write down what they are. So jump power. Number of jumps. This probably shouldn't ever change. I don't see. Can I do that? Constant. Yep, okay. So this is the time it takes to jump. So the jump speed multiplied by the height difference absolute, just to see, just playing around with numbers now. Okay, the jump power is different in this one. It just makes it so much more readable, really. And a lot more configurable without hassle. Jump time. Yeah, I'll just try that out. I'll need to get going soon. But this is great, great progress today. Jump time is far too much on the way up. So what do I think? It's still too slow here. It's not bad on the way down. Well, that one is, but the little gaps, not bad, not bad. Maybe it was fine. Just looks a bit funny going ping and then ping. But I guess it's fine. It keeps the time uniform. It's what the brain expects. Let's stop messing around with it. So, perform movement. It does it from what I see. You can click on a unit. You can spend 2. And then when you click again, you've only got 2 to spend because you've got 4 total. I'll need to turn movement into an actual stat soon. So yeah, move 4, and then you've got nothing. Each person can take their turn and move around. You can jump up, you can jump down, jump all around. Looking good. So that'll be it for this video. What will I do next? Maybe I should try and actually take input. So when you click on move, then it takes you to the movement state. That could be a good thing to do next. All right, thanks for watching.